Hey everyone, it's Johnny here from Hot Take Hockey to talk about a huge trade. The Boston Bruins acquire Trade Kase from the Anaheim Ducks in exchange for a 2020 first-round pick, defensive prospect Axel Andersson, and David Backes. So that Backes contract, crazy. I mean, yes, there's only 1 year left. The Bruins do retain 25% of it on that $6 million cap hit. But before we get into the Backes contract, because I just wanted to start the video. Like I'm gonna look at Backes is cap friendly here. I'm going to look at a couple things, but let's start with the Ondrej Kase. This is a huge addition for the Boston Bruins. If I'm comparing it, looking at the Chris Kreider situation, it would have been a first round pick, a prospect like Axel Andersson, plus a roster player potentially, and another draft pick, conditionally or not. Ondrej Kase, 24 years of age, he's young. Ondrej Kase, drafted in the 7th round, 205th overall. He was a sneaky guy, 2014 NHL entry draft. In 49 games, he's got 23 points. So it's not great, but he's also with a struggling Anaheim Ducks team. Last year, he was injury-riddled, and in 30 games, he had 20 points. I think the big thing also here is not only do they acquire that top 6 forward, but then they lose the Backes contract. So I think it's a little bit of both in the Boston Bruins winning here. If I'm going to Backes' cap-friendly here, he's registered with the Anaheim Ducks. They haven't actually taken the cap hit off yearly, but at the top it does say 4.5. So it'll be 4.5 with the modified no trade clause, and then 4.5 for next year as well. So I think that's huge. And honestly, that's not a big concern for the Anaheim Ducks. David Backes can be a guy, a leader for their younger forwards in their bottom 6. So I don't mind it for the Anaheim Ducks at all. Axel Andersson. What's his skill level here? Well, he's got 22 points in 41 games with the Moncton Wildcats. I actually talked to a subscriber a few weeks ago about this guy. Huge offensive upside, 20 years of age. He was drafted in the 2nd round for the Boston Bruins in the 2018 NHL entry draft. I really like this guy. I think he's going to be a little bit of a late bloomer. He hasn't really put up huge numbers, but he's a guy that, the skill level in terms of skating, he can quarterback a power play. That's kind of just like the scouting reports I've read and just kind of the highlights I've watched from him. Deceptive shot, puck skills, and then top 4 potential in the NHL. So there's that. I think it's probably a little bit lower top 4. I think there's still a lot of questions about this guy. Size is not too bad. Probably needs to put a little weight on. 183 pounds, 6 foot. But yeah, right shot defenseman. I think this is a good return for the Anaheim Ducks. Yes, they take on that Backes contract, but like I said, the fact that the Bruins are retaining 25%, so $1.5 million for this year and next. I think that's a huge perspective for the Anaheim Ducks as well. But Ondrej Kase, you're getting this guy, you're taking a chance on this guy to play on a line, whether it's with Coyle or you're getting him time with Krejci, or even on the top line if you mix that up. Obviously, I think the playoffs, the Bruins are going to stay with that top line. We saw the success of that top line last year. But I really like this trade. I'm just going to look at Ondrej Kase's cap, and honestly, I'm just making this video. I'm going to see if there's any other update, because it wasn't confirmed by the Bruins, but honestly, I trust Bob McKenzie when he's saying that he thinks the package is done. So Ondrej Kase, and this is the bigger perspective, $2.6 million for this year and next. So the Bruins have him under cap control. That's actually crazy. I didn't know that. I didn't know the exact cap hit. I knew it was in around $3 million, but $2.6 million for this year and next. That's a huge perspective for the Boston Bruins, and that's why it's just tough when I'm thinking about this. Who wins this trade? Because right when I saw this trade happen, I'm like, man, this is actually great. This is one of the trades that are just great for both teams on the surface. Obviously, you have to wait and see how they pan out, but the fact that the Bruins don't go all in for a pending UFA in Kreider, they take a chance on a 24-year-old who's actually put up decent numbers for a struggling Anaheim Ducks team over the last year and a half, and he's under control for a good cap hit for this year and next. Yes, you give the first-round pick, and yes, you give a prospect in Axel Andersson, but you would have given that and more for Chris Kreider, and you lose the David Backes contract in the process. Man, I'm impressed. And I think this is a fair trade for both teams, honestly, on the surface. That's my perspective. I think, yes, would I say just a first-round pick and Axel Andersson for Ondrej Kase would be fair? I think that's an overpayment for sure on behalf of the Boston Bruins. But you include the fact that David Backes' contract is in here, and I think this actually turns out to be possibly a win for the Boston Bruins. They do have some, I would say, still younger players. Obviously, I think they need to keep improving their prospect system, but honestly, Axel Andersson, a very decent prospect, a first-round pick. This could be a huge move, and honestly, there's just still been talks. I don't think the Boston Bruins are done. They could still make a minor deal. Are they still going to go for a bigger fish like a Kyle Palmieri or a Chris Kreider? I think no to a Chris Kreider. Maybe a Palmieri. You never know. I think the Devils are trying to sell hard. Obviously, I think they need to get their, I don't know. They need to get surprised in order to trade Palmieri. I think because of the term and the fact that they still need players for next year. So we'll see. Thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe if you are new. Smash that like button. Comment your thoughts below. This was John from Hot Take Hockey. Have a good one. Peace out.